People, Deluded, I'm back again. First things first, big up yourselves, whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. You're getting the creative juices flowing. And thank you for tuning in, man. If you're in the United Kingdom, obviously it's bank holiday. Hope you're all enjoying that. And wherever you lot are tuned in from around the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Now, it's a good... how do I put this into words? It's just crazy being an Arsenal fan, for better or worse. But right now, it's a nice period. You know, we've had a lot of negatives to say. We beat Real Madrid, and it's all kind of gravy. And Ipswich was a nice day out, apart from the Saka challenge. And you know, I would say this year, big up the referee for getting that Saka thing right, the red card, etc., etc. I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect at their job, but I feel when it comes to referees, it feels like there needs to be a pat on the back for doing the right thing. Fair enough, you know, if players play good or bad, managers, etc., you praise or critique, so refs all deserve that. But I'm sure every fan base in the Premier League and worldwide, yeah, could, with that red card on Saka, could bring up incidences, maybe even for our Arsenal Football Club as well as others, that's gone unpunished, and that needs to be eradicated from the game. And I might not be thinking in the right seasons. No, I am. I'm not making this up. Wasn't there something dodgy on Martinelli last weekend, ironically, against Brentford? But anyways, again, big up you lot for tuning in. We'll get into the Raphinha news in a bit. Morning, BG. Hope you're doing well and safe. Reese, the same. So, yeah, man, obviously we're flying high. We've been winning the games. Marino's been doing what he needs to do. I'm going to ask again, is Martin Odegaard back? There's rumours of Saka, Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri getting closer to signing new deals. It's annoying, man, because we're so close to doing something special. We hope the Champions League goes where it can go. But, yeah, man, but I'll just do what needs to be done in the summer, man. Big up DG. I voted 5 signings because we need a striker, midfielder, winger, and then 2 additional players for squad depth. It's very intricate, you know. I think Arsenal have to have, you know, plan A, assuming everything goes to plan. That centre mid, that left winger, that striker, everybody that we want, we're going to get. As we know, life is not straightforward. You know, we could believe we're getting a player and then he wants to go somewhere else. You know, for all the positives, it doesn't necessarily mean much. So what I mean by that is you have to have plan A, if everything goes to right, plan B, plan C, plan D, etc. And that's obviously going to indirectly affect not only the number of players you bring into the club, like is the question in the YouTube question thing, but also what positions, because we might all say 4 or 5 signings. Some it could end up being a left winger, striker, a centre mid, a left back. You couldn't, you know, it could be 2 centre mids, etc. You get the point I'm going to and alluding to. So I personally think in an ideal world, for me personally, 6. In an ideal world, maybe even more. I think necessities are a striker. Whatever way we shape it. Big up Mikel Merino. You lot know I've been backing him. Big him up. It's romantic. He's doing his thing. But at the end of the day, he's a centre mid that's doing well up front. I'm not saying that to knock him. We've seen what you can do up front. We'll add that into our toolbox. But we still need that Gyökeres, that Isak, whatever striker it is, you still need that. Have the best of both worlds kind of thing. So I think a necessity is a striker. I actually think a winger. I think more so realistically, someone that more wants to play on the left-hand side than the right. We're not buying someone outright that's primarily a right winger. Or if we do, they're not going to play on the right wing all the time. We've got Saka. And that, obviously, maybe you can find a little project player, but yeah, imagine it's a bit of a hard sell to a player. Like, yeah, you can compete at Arsenal. The manager's doing whatever, Arsenal, this, that, and the third, but you are going to be second choice to Saka. Obviously, you can prove us wrong and whatnot, but you are going to be second choice. I don't know, when you're looking at that caliber of bracket of player, I don't know where that goes. But for me, necessity, striker, centre mid, left winger, at the very minimum, please, at the very minimum, that is needed to the starting 11. For me personally, I'd love another left back option. I actually think you need a goalkeeper. Me personally, I think you need 2. Just get a third choice journeyman that's comfortable being that guy. You try to get Dan Bentley or something from Wolves, go do that. Obviously, if Garcia from Espanyol is the one you want, go and get that as your second choice. You and Rai fight it out. So yeah, 2 keepers. I do think, I say left back, but the ideal thing for me would be a Tomiyasu Timber kind of player, like someone that's fairly versatile around there. But you can make a case for a left back. You can make a case of a right-sided centre-back, left-sided centre-back, either of those positions that's able to play on the flanks on that side. You can make a case actually for 2 centre mids. Obviously, this isn't going to happen, but yeah, man, I would. You could argue. I don't think it's going to happen necessarily, but unless it's a projecty kind of player, market opportunity, I don't see us signing someone that is going to compete, quote unquote, with Martin Odegaard for that position week in, week out. Obviously, Nwaneri's getting to grips with a number of different positions. Why? But I just don't see it unless it's a projecty player. I just can't see it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I just can't see it. Now, I couldn't see us smashing Real Madrid in the way we could, didn't it? So I might be Stevie Wonder, and I hope I'm wrong, but I can't see us waking up at the end of the summer window and there's someone that's directly competing with Odegaard. Yeah, someone that's directly competing with Odegaard. Thomas Partey signs a new deal. You've got Zubimendi. You might even bring in another midfielder. I just don't think. I'm not saying this. I would want that, but I just don't know if we're going to make all of those signings. Because again, we are still reliant on selling players, and this is no excuses. That is irrelevant. Buying to sell is irrelevant from the center, from the striker thing, from the center mid thing, from the left wing thing. But indirectly, it's not. At the end of the day, I hate to refer to football as this, but you all know it's a business. And you look at the balance sheet. There's a lot of players on big wages. There's some that are on wages that we're probably going to see. I think it comes down. I'll be honest. As we're evolving as a team, I think it's down to certain players to keep up with the times. I'll be brutally honest with you. I'm not saying that they're going to get sold or anything like that, but you don't know I'm a big fan of Martinelli. If you don't kick on, I'm not saying you can't have a future, but you might not be a starter. People that haven't put a foot wrong necessarily at the time that were starters in the quest of being better, which some have worked, some have not, have been gone for less than that. Tini was the first name on the team sheet, talked about as being a captain. We're doing the inverted thing now. All right, Tini's obsolete. Ramsdale, obviously, Raya's an upgrade. It's as simple as that. So I do think that. I think we're going a bit too far suggesting that with Martin Odegaard at the moment, but realistically, if you don't get your act together and you have another season like this, questions have to be asked because you are on big money. Martinelli, love the guy. Kick on now because you both of you have it in your locker. As I said, I don't want to act like the world is ending and get excited, but it is something. Zinchenko, first name on the team sheet, does the inverted role very well, had a great game at Ipswich. Unfortunately, you're not the full package there. Like, we've sought Calafiori, whether he's going to be a centre half or a left back, that's you. Kivior's doing his thing at centre half, but even with Kivior and Zinchenko, you ask 100 Arsenal fans, I think 50, if worst comes to worst, 50 would say, you know what, Zinni left back. 50 would probably say Kivior. Lewis Skelly's come up through the ranks. You just ain't that. So I do think that is something to bear in mind, really. You have to keep up with the times, essentially. It waits for no one, really. Like, same way Saka's evolved and several other players have evolved, and in a way, Declan Rice is evolving. It has to happen. You know, the players that helped, I don't know, Man City win a Premier League or 2 or 3, a million Premier Leagues, they might not have been the players that were required to get over the line in the champs. So we have to see, man. Ben as well, a backup keeper. But yeah, interesting debates. Keep them coming. On the topic of interesting debates, and just as you know, we're 9 minutes in, close to 10, settling in. Big up all the early birds. You had 100% attendance in school, innit? Just want to get the creative juices flowing. Obviously, Leandro Trossard was named player of the match. Yeah, it's crazy the times we live in. After his brace against Ipswich, he's someone that polarizes opinion. Do we sell him in the summer or not? Because I think there's a case, mainly with his contract. But me personally, and again, it goes back to the wages. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you lot. Trossard can be part of the squad. Like, let's not act like he's not a good player. He just shouldn't be a starter, give or take. You know, I think now Martinelli and Trossard, they got give or take 6 or 7 goals each. We probably need someone that's going to get double figures, man. From the wide areas. We need Odegaard to get. Again, you lot know me. I don't really think Odegaard's the guy for the scoring and all that. But fundamentally, he had a season where he's scoring a lot of goals. You're an attacking midfielder. You're a professional footballer. In certain scenarios, you should be scoring. You're better than what you're giving out. If Odegaard can get back to scoring, if Rice keeps doing what he's doing, because we do need goals from midfield. We do need goals from midfield. And Odegaard needs to do his thing. Like, Partey's probably scored more than him. We need goals from midfield. Obviously, if Trossard can go back to what he was in a super sub, he's getting X amount of numbers. Martinelli, the new guy, the forward. You know what Saka does. And give or take Marino, Havertz, whoever wants to score when they want to score, all right. Goals win games. And it's mad that we're talking about strikers and wingers, or better yet, I am. Statistically, we've scored 100 goals again. Something to bear in mind. Smash the like button. But yeah, would you lot sell Trossard? Is he changing your mind? I don't know. Completely off topic, very off topic. But I thought about this morning. When was the last time you saw a bicycle kick scored in football? I think Jude Bellingham, like it says there, had one. I'm sure Garnacho did something. When you don't really see bicycle kicks anymore. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm not gonna lie, people. I look at this on 2 angles. If you lot just care about European football, yeah, the AC Milan manager, Cancelo, I think he's right. Long story short, I ain't gonna read this to you, but he basically is saying since he became the manager, Milan are already talking about who's the next guy going to be and all that kind of Milan stuff. And he says that's fine, but I feel like it's a lack of respect. And I think managers are right to say that. But with you, I'm not going to lie. Once I was done with the heroics of what we did against Real Madrid, I thought of you. You were smoking cigars against us and doing mad things and saying, oh, Arteta pushed me and all of this. You've had a tough week, innit? You're coming out and saying this. Arsenal is shining. Boy, it's mad. Now, I do think football's gonna be. Obviously, you lot know me. I'm not talking about abuse and all of those things and players being, effing and blinding and whatever. But I do think it's going to be soft in the rhetoric around it, because there is a sense of, as much as you don't know me, I'm very analytical. Need to give players time to adapt, which is the case in Mikel Merino. Need to give individuals time to adapt. But at the end of the day, if you're playing rubbish, and that's the background I come from in Sunday League, like people's parents would tell you you're playing rubbish. If I'm not even saying it with him, because Chelsea fans used to diss Jogba. There's a lot of players that have been dissed and then became lit. City fans weren't exactly happy with Leroy Sané at the beginning. There's been many an Arsenal player. Imagine Twitter when Thierry Henry signed for this club, when it took him 11 odd games to score his first goal for it or whatever. So yeah, man. But I think people need to give people a chance, man, with where Mikel Merino's concerned. And that's what I've been wrong about many a player, but I was right about that one. Stop dissing him. Your apologies will it be accepted, but you cannot join the Mikel Merino hype. And we need to start winning some Premier Leagues again, man. We've got 13. Obviously, Liverpool and United are, flying with it with 20 and 19 respectively. We can diss City, and I know we can do the oil jokes and whatnot, but City got 10. Boy, shout out Everton, Aston Villa, Sunderland, and, big up that team on that achievement. But I'm not exactly going to praise them for that. Now, moving on, people. Allegedly, one of the more, I can't lie, this hand of Arsenal guy seems to know two things. Arsenal are progressing very well in their talks to extend the contract of Bukayo Saka. The Arsenal talisman is set to become the highest paid player at Arsenal Football Club. He deserves it. This is an all-timer of a season. It might not look it, because I think he's got 6 goals because he's been injured. But if he was, I can't lie, it's one of them. If he was there, he was there. Do you know what Bukayo Saka has done for this football club? Forget every great thing he's done for us. We love him. But this year, putting his hamstring on the line, doing whatever you're doing in terms of recovery, because it's like you never left, doing what you're doing against Real Madrid across both legs. One of the nastiest things I heard about Bukayo Saka that was said, people, he doesn't affect the game when he's not scoring. Are you stupid? Did he score in the first leg? You saw what he did. You could say the same against Ipswich. He's come back and it's like he's never left, and he's having an impact. Listen, big games, consistency, starboyness, and he's got that. I don't know what it is this season with Bukayo Saka, but this is the first year I'd say you arrived, my friend. And that sounds crazy to say, because of course not. He's been doing this from the jump. But looking at you on the pitch with Rodrigo and stuff, and as I said, how you handled the press conference before the first leg, after it, and everything else, and all the talking points. And listen, Saka's the best player in the world, isn't it? But there's, Rodrigo's and Mbappe's, all of these guys. But to hear how they try to throw you in that conversation and to see how you stood up to, bro, you're a friend. You know me. Don't really like the wokeness where football's concerned, but you're a franchise player. Even the way you reacted to the penalty, they tried to. Do you know how much things is going under the radar with Arsenal versus Real Madrid? Do you know how many things are going under the radar? Look at what them, and the game is the game. They should have done it. Did you see it when the audacity to try? It didn't bang Saka. Don't do that again. But I rate the confidence. But the audacity in the second leg for Arsenal Football Club in the quarterfinals of the Champions League at the Bernabeu against current holders, 15 winners, to chip the Penenka against Courtois, who's the one Real Madrid player up until that point, and the first leg was amazing. It didn't bang. I rate the confidence. Obviously, Saka to go to the next level, the Euros, this one, the one in the title challenge against West Ham. Let's start scoring them. But to do that, to see how they surrounded him, tried to rattle him, it's again going on under the radar. I know if the shoe was on the other foot, what would be said? Carvajal, what's he doing? To be fair, that's the closest a player's got to Bukayo Saka across 2 legs. Big up Benjamin White for backing the beef. But do you know the nonsense they tried to do to rattle him? And they do it now. And obviously, you look at when he's getting his leg kicked in 2 against Ipswich, and the man's being booed for that. Now, this is nothing new to Saka, but he understands it now. And again, if I look at it realistically, you've missed a penalty in the Euros final at Wembley. What the hell does this mean? You've gone through all of that. This is actually nothing, And I mean that in a positive way. This is nothing. I'm not dead. This is it. Saka's a poster boy, and we're going to, for those of you that were dissing the one behind him, why for that? Martinelli, boy, apologies. I'm not, listen, constructive criticism, part that to the side. Apologies will be accepted. But on a serious note, we know we need Bukayo Saka to sign a new deal, give the man what he wants. Again, kind of going back to what we were saying slightly earlier, with the amount of players that are on wages and us having to streamline and review on a case-by-case basis, there's a lot of work for Arsenal and Berta to do. And it's no coincidence. We started fighting for the league in 2022-23. Going into the summer, that will be the 4th year that we've been in these kind of conversations, right? That's a long time for a squad to be together. That's a lot of evolution. You know, you look at certain players that were first names on the team sheet at some point during this period. They, for one reason or another, some of them are obsolete. Only some men have, you know, grown in ability and made themselves even more important. Some men are falling by the wayside. And shout out Martinelli and Saka, because them two deserve nights like this. When we were proper dead, you was there. But yeah, now obviously it's no coincidence. As soon as, you know, Bukayo Saka's allegedly in contract talks, and you could just see he needs to sign a new deal. Real Madrid are trying reportedly to make a bid in the summer for Vinicius this summer. If they for Saka, this summer, if they sell either Vinicius or Rodrigo. Saka's unpriceable. He's got history to achieve it. He's unpriceable. We'll have Rodrigo and Vinicius though. One of them needs to learn going into the 2026 World Cup how to turn up in big games. I'm sure Martinelli can show them. It's cool, though. The good news hopefully keeps flowing. We know we love the Highland Demons. Both Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly allegedly are now in final stages of agreeing new long-term contracts at Arsenal. Andrea Berta is concluding the final details before officially announcing it. Long-term deals for both Highland stars sorted. Now, that's music to my ears, and Arsenal should be getting into that. It'd be lovely if Saka signs a new deal in time. You know, I'm giving the content team something to do around Highland and all of them signing new deals, but they deserve it. You know, Nwaneri ain't even turned up like that yet. He's had some fantastic moments. He's obviously evolved into the first team and he's wavy, but he had his Lewis-Skelly time yet. And Lewis-Skelly's time is going to get even better. Like, both of them are living absolute movies, and God knows how much you two indirectly have saved us. Like, Nwaneri, I'll be honest, you're just lit. If you want to be a right winger, a 10, an 8, a striker, have the conversation with Arteta and just make sure you're there. Same goes for Lewis-Skelly. I'd love to see you in midfield on a consistent basis. I'm more than happy to entertain the, left back shouts. And I actually think, I don't want to do too much because, he's 18 and Rice and that and not that much older, who's another one that's spoken about in relation to what I'm going to say. And obviously Odegaard as well, who's the captain. But Lewis-Skelly, I can't lie, he's captain material. I can't forget it because that's what, the strength, how good he is on the half turn, the technical ability, the tenacity. Obviously, he's got a lot to improve. But the best thing is the mentality. He's on this. Like, he's forever on this. I've seen you come through the North London derby twice now against Manchester City. The Bernabeu. I don't need to. Well, I do need to remind the Arsenal fans, but I don't need to remind City fans what these two did. Saka weren't there. There's been parts of the season that could just be so romantic if we win the champs. And had we have put our best foot forward in the summer where just the squad's concerned, man, it could have been a movie, man. It could have been a movie, but that's what we want to hear. Now, let's see exactly what this is. Nwaneri, Mikel Arteta handed summer transfer solution with Arsenal record breaker. Well, I think technically when he made his debut, even last year, 2 years ago against Brentford, broke some sort of statistic. Let's see what this is saying anyways, folks. I'll read it out to you if you're just listening. Smash the like button as well, people. Inner Circle, I'm boying you. I've just seen your comment. It's caught my eye. Try supporting them for nearly 60 years like me. Let's list all the players expected to leave in the summer. Do that, people. Do that. We're going to come right back to that Inner Circle. But yeah, let me have some structure. Arsenal have plenty to do in the summer. I think we all know that. But Nwaneri has at least solved one problem for them. For years, the Gunners have been looking for someone to provide competition and cover for Bukayo Saka, which I think is what he's going to do in the short term at the very least, which you have to do that. We don't know if Lewis-Skelly is going to be a long-term left back. He might have a career in midfield or he might never. Saka was a left. Some of us knew Saka would end up playing out wide and on the right-hand side eventually, but for a while, he just had to earn his chops, word to Kenny Ken, as a left back. At the end of the day, you need to get games. And as good as Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri and all these guys are, at the end of the day, yeah, you just need to play where the gaffer tells you. And once you get that opportunity, if you're able to, like both of them have done, grab it with both hands. When you solidify yourself into the team, you can then do the Saka thing. I want to play up front. I want to do this and that. You could even do the Maitland-Niles thing where you're part of the team. You win an FA Cup. You go on Instagram, not that they will, and say, oh, I just want to play in centre mid. Ironically, still playing fullback. Shout out Ainsley Maitland-Niles because he's not wrong for that. But you just got to get minutes. So yeah, we do have plenty to solve. Nwaneri in the short term for me is probably off the right wing. I don't think he's ready necessarily to play centre mid, but I mean that in a positive way. And he needs to be exposed to that at some point. Like, I'd love to see him play in the Odegaard role, because I think a lot of what Nwaneri needs to improve is actually off the ball. Obviously, on the ball, how to finish, when to part, like certain technical proficiencies on certain passes and shots, but it's off the ball. It's off the ball. Once you get into the Premier League, obviously you need to improve on the ball, but you switch off for a second. Is what it is. Half of these academy guys technically They could probably play in the Premier League, but it's the pace of everything. Academy football is no match for that. This is, that's, I don't know what that is, but it's something else. But yeah, moving on. In Ranieri, it would appear they have the answer, and the teenager continued his remarkable breakout campaign on Sunday by finding the net against Ipswich. I did think it would go down as an own goal, but like they tried to say, there's stats and then there's facts. Ranieri scored, blood, wavy guy for years. Sorry, I'm reading the same thing. I need to actually zoom in, man, because this is the writing's way too small. There we go. Ranieri has now scored 9 goals this season, and 5 of those have come since he's moved to the right wing at the start of January. It's a new role for the 18-year-old who predominantly played as an attacking midfielder when coming through Arsenal's academy, but he relished the challenge of stepping up while Saka was out injured. Amen, and big him up for that. He really did, but he's not the first player. We've seen this at Arsenal Football Club. The first player that's going to end up playing in midfield one day or is going to be a midfielder having to earn their chops out wide. We've seen that. Iwobi from the jump. Yeah, Iwobi's playing off the left for us. Wenger was saying from the jump, he's going to be a midfielder. To a degree, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Jack Wilshere's another one. Aaron Ramsey's another one. We could force it because he could play in those roles, but you could even say Sammy and Nasri and actually Santi Cazorla to a degree in an Arsenal shirt. And there's probably some others I've skipped out. He's cool where he is, man. But yeah, man, I just think with Ranieri, it's really just off the ball with you. Once you fine-tune that, the world's your oyster, lad. Credit to you at the club. Me, naturally, I've always been a 10. And again, it's the off-the-ball stuff in the 10 that Odegaard does that maybe Mikel Arteta doesn't feel he has someone that can replicate. Had Fabio Vieira done that, because let's be honest, it's not a 10 I want to see. Like, we all grew up with 10s emotional and whatnot, but if everybody's fit, God forbid, but if Odegaard's out, I'm not saying this will be the case because Arteta sat there and said, Declan Rice can play 3 positions. We know he can play a 6. There were some doubts, even the most optimistic of ones, that he could play 8. He's done that. I don't know about the 10 thing, Mikel Arteta, if those are the 3 roles. But for me, it's just off the ball with Ranieri. I've played as a 10 my whole life, but again, I can play as a striker as well. Arteta said that. Right wing is a new one for me, but I've liked the challenge of a new position. It's been tough adapting to a new position, but that's part of football. Facts. This is what I envisioned in my head. This is what I wanted to do. Thoughts become things, man. If the manager asks you to play somewhere, you have to do it to the highest level. It's been hard. It's been up and down, but I've enjoyed it. I can play anywhere the team needs me. That's all we want to hear. The records have tumbled for Ranieri this season, who originally began it playing as a right number 8 in Arsenal's midfield. Before his 18th birthday last month, he had scored 8 goals, and no player in Arsenal's history has managed more for the men's first team before that landmark. So yeah, you and Lewis Skelly already creating history, man. It just shows what hard work and opportunity can do for a lot of us. Ranieri has even shone in the Champions League. Yes, he has. And last month became the 3rd youngest scorer in the Champions League knockout stages. He also found the net in successive Champions League games against Girona and PSV, becoming the youngest player to achieve such a feat. This is what I envisioned in my head. This is what I wanted to do. So it's no surprise I've achieved it. Aura. Because it's one thing to have the ability. It's another thing to do it. And even the celebrations, he's just not even going to celebrate too tough. We got some good players. We got some bloody good young players, man. Long may it continue. Long may it continue. Long, and big up to Nathan Butler Desi for making his debut as well. I wouldn't say I was nervous when I first joined the first team, but I'd say there was a different pressure that I was feeling. I think I saw that it was a good thing, and it shows that I care, that I'm feeling these things. Pick him up, man. I think he spoke on the older players. They help us out. They keep us grounded. They lift us up when we need it as well. It's just personal stuff and they've been brilliant with us. It's just personal stuff and how they dealt with when they were first coming up and how they dealt with the pressure and maybe when they didn't play well or when they did play well and just managing that. They're treating us well like we're part of the team. So that's just how we feel now. That's testament to the way that the players treat us. Big him up, man. Big him up. He's then spoken on Odegaard, I believe. That's what or something else, to be fair. That's what I've been doing since young. One person will start playing up at age group, then we'll start playing up. One person will start scoring, then the next one will start scoring. That's just how me and him work. It's not competitive. So he's speaking about Lewis Skelly. It's not competitive. We just kind of raise each other's standard. And that's so good to have as a friend. Me and him, we talk every second of every day. We're always just talking about everything. We look back on the old times. We look into the future. It's everything. Hey, it's wavy. It's a movie. This is what we spoke about since young, breaking into the first team together. We just had our eyes on that vision. And the fact that we've been able to do it, amazing. Keep it coming, lad. And he said as well, people, on the Ipswich win, I'm very happy with the amount of goals I've scored this season. I think that's what I bring to the team. I bring goals and assists. I've been able to display that, so I'm happy. Mikel said at halftime to carry on how we're playing because we're dominating the first half. We're playing so well. We just wanted wanted us to not take our foot off the gas and keep going. Fair play, lad. That's what you want. Journalist confirms Arsenal's transfer plans. They're looking at Premier League duo. Arsenal are looking to improve their defensive unit at the end of the season, and they've identified Huijsen of Bournemouth and Nathan Collins, who played quite well for Brentford. Allegedly, both players have done quite well in the Premier League, and it's no surprise that Arsenal are keeping tabs on them. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to submit an official offer for 2 players in the coming rounds. Now, what does that tell us? Probably that we're seeking defensive cover for a bunch of reasons. We've seen a lot of injuries, especially to what me and a lot of Arsenal fans would have said in the summer. If there's one area we thought were kind of able to withstand some injuries, it was the defensive third, and that's been run to its limits. Allegedly, Graham Bailey has revealed that Arsenal are keeping tabs on 2 players, and they want them to complement the likes of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. I wouldn't be against Collins. I think they spent 20 odd million for him. I think the way Brentford play out from the back and press and all of that, he can do all of that. I think he's half decent with his feet. Don't mind you as a squad player, to be fair, dependent on the fee. One thing I find interesting is Arsenal's looking for another centre defender. Dean Huijsen and Nathan Collins are 2 they're looking at, and they insist they want them to complement Saliba and Gabriel. Fair enough. The Spaniard for Bournemouth has been linked with multiple clubs in recent months. I don't think we're that heavy on him. I think we like him, but I think other clubs might force the boat out a bit. And I'm not going to read this to you, but in November of 2023, there was an article in The Athletic that said Nathan Collins is just getting started. There's so much potential with him. And I read it. I have read it. And I've always liked him. And it made me believe, you know what, he wouldn't be bad. How Raphinha feels about shock Barcelona exit. Yeah, the clickbait, mate. Apparently, TBR Football can exclusively reveal that intermediaries have informed Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea about their chances of signing Raphinha this summer. Deco suggested he was tempted to sell Raphinha. Wasn't Deco once his agent? Be the ones closest to you that hurt you, man. Damn. Apparently, Thierry Henry reckons Raphinha could win the Ballon d'Or. Now, 4 p.m. I'm going to be live. I'm going to ask some Arsenal fans that, especially if Arsenal win the Champions League. Could Bukayo win that? Months ahead of the summer transfer window, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea fans will be dreaming that Raphinha returns to the Premier League donning one of their shirts. Sources have told Graham Bailey that intermediaries have hinted to Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea that they could sign Raphinha. They've also informed other clubs apart from Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea that Raphinha could be available for 80 million in the summer. Wait, what? So we could sign him. Okay, that basically means everyone's getting told about it. The British trio remains huge admirers of the 28-year-old. They are being kept informed about his situation. And as you see here, he's set to hold contract talks at Barcelona. I mean, smash the like button. What do you expect? He's become like the star man, give or take, between Yalmao. Is he tempted by Saudi interest? That probably tempt everyone, but still got things to achieve in Europe. Arsenal, apparently, for the 100th time, are interested in signing Athletic Bilbao attacker Nico Williams at the end of the season. We know the 22-year-old's been linked with us. I don't know, man. 1 minute he wants to come to the Prem, then he's going to sign a new deal at Athletic Bilbao. Now he wants to stay. Then who knows, man. Talks have taken place, and arguably the most advanced is Arsenal. Berta has spoken with his camp since he came in, but with Williams, that one issue remains. Does he want to play in England? And that question has just not been answered. We know Williams wants to play for Barcelona. He wants to play with Yamal. Personally, like Arsenal and others, I'm not convinced he wants to leave Spain. So, yeah, he's not leaving Spain. Let's move on. Next target, mate. Arsenal United want a striker. Liam Delap prefers Arsenal to Man United. I mean, everyone would really. I don't think we're that heavy on Liam Delap. Of course, we've scouted him. He's probably on a short list to some degree. And, you know, if plan A, B, C, D, E, etc., doesn't happen, then maybe explore that. But, yeah, music to my ears, though, nonetheless. Romano shares exciting Arsenal transfer update in the wake of Champions League win over Real Madrid. What did you say, Romano? He said Arsenal doing something special and also praised Arteta for having conveyed a message of unity and solution finding. I hear that, but what does that mean for us? What I can tell you today is that Arteta will be backed in the market. Okay. Arteta will have a lot of power in the market. Together with Andrea, they will plan for the strategy. Zubimendi is a top target. The new striker will arrive. Arsenal will also do more on the market. Now, in terms of plan A's and other plans, humor me, folks. We've just saw that if we take that for gospel, Williams might not want to leave Spain. Zubimendi, ironically, which is my point, might not want to leave Spain. Let's just assume Williams stays at Bilbao, goes elsewhere in Spain. Zubimendi the same. I hope this is the case, and you'd be naive for suggesting that there isn't a backup plan, but we have to be able to pivot. The same goes for Gyökeres and Sesko and this one and that one, but I wouldn't say that's anything that we didn't expect to hear. So Arsenal are working hard on Zubimendi, on a striker, on a winger probably, and more. Arsenal will be busy in the market, and Arteta will be backed, but he really deserved that. Seeing's believing, man. What are Bournemouth planning to do with their centre-back Huijsen, who's been linked with many a club as well as us? They're planning to do with him that will be music to the ears of his suitors. Just wasting time. Munich and Real Madrid are looking at him, just wasting time. He's basically saying that they're planning for him, but they'll make contingency plans if they get rid. What's the Zubimendi hijack thing saying? Real Madrid explained Arsenal target Martin Zubimendi, their plans for him. Apparently, Santi Orna, who's a journalist, has bad news for Arsenal supporters as he revealed that Zubimendi prefers to join Real Madrid this summer. Furthermore, Real Madrid are believed to explain their plans to Zubimendi in talks to secure his signature, which could also potentially prove to be a blow for Arsenal. Arsenal are still waiting on Zubimendi's approval, but the internal belief within the Emirates Stadium aligns with Andrea Berta's that he's set to head to N5 in the summer. So again, by all means, pay 50 odd million quid, do that, but make sure we're able to pivot. On the topic of Berta, apparently he's initiated talks with RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. Let's just skip to the bulk of this, man. I'm reading two things. Sesko's impressive form this season, netting 20 goals in 41 appearances, has reignited Arsenal's interest in him. Now, it swings and roundabouts. 1 minute, Gyökeres, then it's Sesko, then it's this, then it's that. Just make sure we get forward. We all know we was interested in him last summer. For one reason or another, he stayed in Germany. Sesko's potential availability this summer, coupled with his 58 million release clause, presents an opportunity for interested clubs. The Gunners want to take advantage of this and make a move for him this summer in order to strengthen in their attack. Slovenian national team manager has praised Sesko and claimed that the attacker's two main qualities are physical strength and speed. I hear that, and that came back in the Prem, and I like you, Sesko. I'm a supporter of you, but what, you're not going to say his best quality strikers, best qualities are finishing? I'm just saying. Because I want to hear that he would kill to score and them kind of things there. I mean, a bit of a joke, but you get the point, people. Liverpool are weighing up a summer move to sign Mbeumo. I'm not going to stop this agenda. Arsenal need to move for Mbeumo. You saw him and Visa link up again. Mbeumo would be wavy in our team, man. I know I'm dreaming, people. Anyone having Bernardo Silva? Allegedly, Man City have warned Bernardo Silva not be part of the plans this season. Well, next year. You having him? To be fair, I like it, Bernardo, but he talked too much. Again, I covered this yesterday, and there's no way in God's green earth I can pronounce his name, unfortunately. But according to Spanish outlet El Nacional, Arsenal are hoping to stop their raid of Bilbao at Jess Williams, not hoping to, with Arteta also now looking at attacking midfielder Oher Sanet as an absolute priority. I covered this yesterday, but he has 15 goals and in 17 starts, 24 years of age, plays for Williams' club in Bilbao. I like him. I don't buy it, though. Maybe it could be a contingency plan. You could say to Bilbao, fair enough, we can't get Williams. Can we have him? I don't know, but I don't buy it. As part of keeping his promise of scoring 20 goals in the league when he was signed and not leaving till now for other lucrative opportunities, Sporting have reduced Gyökeres' exit fee to 70 million. Are we doing that? Are we having that? Player will leave for sure this summer. Arsenal's best positioned to sign, allegedly. Chelsea could interfere. Player prefers Arsenal, Liverpool, and City in the Prem. Okay, music to my ears. Allegedly, if this will load, smash the like button. Kind of going around in circles. Arsenal are planning to sign a world-class midfielder this summer to replace Jorginho and Partey. Gomares and Zubimendi are their top two targets for that position. Arsenal have reached out to try and finalize a deal with Nico Williams after learning of Barcelona's decision to withdraw from the race. Barcelona apparently have thrown their hat into the ring for Gyökeres now. Barcelona's a big club, magic club, all of that. If you're Gyökeres, you want to sign for a club like Barca anyways, but imagine they say to him, we're going to get Nico Williams, we've got Yao Mao. Lewandowski's a good player, but he's not going to be in the next 2 years. He's getting on a bit. I don't know, but everyone's interested in everyone. We'll have to see how it plans out. Now, I would love Arsenal to sign Morgan Rogers, but apparently Liverpool have identified Morgan Rogers as a key summer transfer target and are determined to beat Arsenal, City, Man United, and PSG to his signature. Now, are all these clubs trying to go for him like that? Or is it a thing where everybody likes Morgan Rogers? If he was available or positive signals from either Aston Villa or his camp, they'd be involved. I'd love Morgan Rogers at Arsenal. You and Rice in midfield, oof. But yeah, it's going to cost a crap load of money. Going back over again, people. Allegedly, Arsenal progressing very well in their talks to extend Bukayo Saka's contract. The star is set to become the highest paid player at the club. We've gone over that. Xavi Simons could leave Leipzig this summer, and the German club will want 70 million if they are to sell the 21-year-old. Liverpool and Man United are among the clubs interested. Are we having him? I like what I could see. And unpopular opinion, I don't know if he wants to leave Barcelona, but would you have Fermin Lopez from Barcelona? Allegedly, Chelsea are preparing a 40 million euros offer, and apparently Atletico Madrid are also keen. I wouldn't be against it. We're on an emotional roller coaster with this club. We're going to need plenty just to replace those who are leaving. That's without increasing first choice starters and expanding the squad. We can't go with 22 players again. Facts. Or Arteta likes to say 19. You're right, man. You are right. Bless up, Alan. Once again, we need 100%. We 100% need a striker, a 10, and a left winger, a left back, and a DM if Partey leaves, and a backup keeper. Hate it or love it, Arteta knows how to utilize his players for versatility. Rice, Luis Skelly, Marino, Havertz, even Trossard and Zinni can play in more than one position. DG, would you sign Raphinha or Yalmao? It's okay having versatility, but we need some elite specialists who can raise the ceiling. And that's where we need to somehow get that balance of quality and quantity, because I would like a player up front that can do all the things that we see Marino doing, minus the goals for a sec. And obviously Havertz as well. But can you do all of that and just be a cold-hearted killer in front of goal? Because just imagine going into the new season, regardless of how it pans out, just looking at your front line, just your many other areas, but just your front line. There's Saka there. There's a serious striker there. There's a serious left winger there, give or take, with Martinelli. Boy, he's the best finisher at the club. Keep him. I hear you about the roller coaster, but every now and again, it goes right for us. 4 signings, maybe we win the champs, and they will all want to sign. Come on, Gunner. Stuart, I hope you're right, man. I hope we can win the champs, man. Garnacho versus Everton. Haaland did a bicycle. Who did Haaland score a bicycle against? I feel like you're right. So maybe my memory is just poor, because I defo was sat here and I was like, you know what? I haven't really seen too many bicycle kicks, or it doesn't feel they're as frequent. Neil, one love, my guy. I think we need to keep Trossard in the squad. We need reliable players off the bench. Big up yourself, Manny. For me, Trossard, Nelly, Odegaard, Havertz, Marino, Jesus should all be on the bench with upgrades in the starting 11. Imagine how strong that squad would be. I hear that. Saka going a nasty streak. Yeah, but in a good way. Because you look at our squad, who I feel are the leaders, yeah. If you look at Saliba, Timber, and Saka, like, they've got that mentality. They're passionate. And you could actually throw Declan Rice into that kind of category as well. But they're not like Gabriel Magalhaes or Benjamin White or Luis Skelly, like, which I love all 3 of them for, but they are. And that everybody's just a leader. And I do think Saka is growing. I do think Saka looks it. I think he's looked at it for a long time, but it's like, I need to make the difference for Arsenal Football Club. And I really, really, really want to achieve my potential. Now, again, I hope there's no setbacks with Saka post surgery, and and this still is classed as his rehab. And again, people need to remember, it's crazy. Saka is still not even fully fit, but such is the rehab. I give credit to Arsenal's physios and whatnot, same way we'd criticize them, but to some degree, it is on the player to do the rehab. And it made me think, all right, Saka, you're doing all the unpretty stuff. Like, I'm not saying it's he's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, but I always say on this channel, the Cristiano Ronaldo stuff. No one wants to get up at 5 a.m. and do ice baths and this and that. I'm sure they just want to learn the tactics, play football, and go home. But that's all the things that makes a difference. So yeah, big up Saka, man. One for the ages. If we separate needs and wants, then I feel we need about 4 players: a striker, left winger, or versatile /creator, left mid, left back. Then depending on departures and market opportunities, we can then go for 5+. Wizzy Daniels, I think you articulated it perfectly. Yeah. All right. Should get you on the stream. Facts. Exactly that. Obviously, I think we all do that. We just said, you know what, forget all that. We're just going to spend this piece. But yeah, Saka for me before the injury in December was the best player in the Premier League besides Salah. And that's the annoying thing, man. Like, bro, he was having an all-time of a season, and he still is, but it feels surreal. And I know a week's a long time in football, so you could imagine 3 months. But it feels like that 3 months, it definitely doesn't feel like it was a blur, but it feels like it was a blur. But yeah, the moral of the story is, I think we all know, for a bunch of reasons, whether it's, squad depth owing to injuries, having different solutions and tactics for the manager, having different in-game solutions, we need a bigger squad. And players that are, on one hand, 1,000,000% specialists, but then able to play everywhere. Still chipped him anyways. Come on. Exactly. Hero stuff. If Gyökeres gets 30 goals next year for Arsenal, we'll be saying he's Ballon d'Or winner because we're praising Havertz for less. We had a striker in time to score 30 goals plus. I was speaking with my friend today, and obviously He's a Spurs fan, actually. And he was saying, as much as I hate your club, you've always been known for strikers. And he's right. You know, some of you way older than me would suggest such, but we'll be here all day talking about the Omris of this world, etc. But then you look beyond like the category below. We did used to have a Will Todd, another Bayor, and a Bamian. Like we had something. And I'm not dissing. I've been back in Marino. Me and you look all the time. We go back and forth with Kai Havertz, but we still need that striker, man. It's in the same way. I think I wouldn't say it makes our life easier, but because Saka's so good and he's such a threat, there's a degree of the opposition's game plan. They can't really do what they want to do down that left-hand side. They do have to mitigate against him. And I think that helps other players kind of fly through the radar. If two men are focused on Saka, then someone should be able to make a third man run. And I think with a striker, you have that. I don't know if Gyökeres gets 30 goals in the Prem. I hope so. I've been leading the propaganda. I want Gyökeres. I just think there's a bit of an exchange rate from the Portuguese league to the Premier League. And I'm not gassing up the Premier League. It's just some of the goals I look at the defenders. It's nothing on Gyökeres because I still want him, but it's like, ooh. Not that there's not shoddy defending in the Prem, but it's like, ooh, like even the hat trick the other day, it's ooh. Don't think you're going to see that every week. Maybe if you watch Man United, have to throw a corner. What a season for both of them. I'll take you. Will be back quality. Two big D, two DG. I don't know what two means, my guy Joey, but big up yourself, probably a typo. Big up yourself, same way. If Arsenal won the Champions League, when do you think the parade in London will be? Me and my cousin will travel from Australia. Big up the Aussies. It's got to be in May, innit? It's got to be May, June. May, June, surely. We'll be there. We'll be there. We're bringing 2 Hennessy bottles, 2 Red F. We're getting lit. London wouldn't know what. Everything would have to stop. Everything would have to stop. And one day we're going to win something. Serious. I don't know when. I've been waiting 20 plus years for the Prem. But one day. Because let's be real. As much as I love the club and we're gassing it and happy, like, we are a bit. We do the Netflix FC. But it's a beautiful series. It's a beautiful series. It's like The Wire and all those things. You have to watch it. But yeah, let's paint new narratives, man. We deserve it. The players deserve it, man. We deserve it. Wanyeri has a problem. He's a natural 10, but Arteta does not play with a 10. It's a 6 and 2 8s. Do not think Wanyeri's an 8. And at the same time, though, as much as we're thinking about tomorrow and whatnot, I do think fans are forcing it a bit like, oh, yeah, we need to play Wanyeri all the time, whatever. Like, obviously, if you get your chance and take it and make yourself a regular, you do, but he's still a young man learning. Again, he's adding greater consistency, but you probably the 2 games against Everton, ironically, you know, and some people, I think people were harsh on him at the game at the Emirates because he came off the bench and it was abysmal for everyone anyways, but he's still learning. You don't have to be your first team or first name on the team sheet at the moment necessarily. Hot take. I wouldn't mind that Wanyeri exposed to the left wing. I think for him to be able to play in that 8 role, it's just a case of getting experience and learning what Arteta wants from you every moment of every 90-minute game. Just like Odegaard. Like Odegaard's probably your mentor. That stuff. What a lad he is, man. Mean left foot, man. It's refreshing to see. I'm acting spoiled. Saka, you know, we give you your praise. You're the guy. But there is other players. Wanyeri's a very good finisher. I previously said I think Trossard is the best finisher at the football club. That's obviously prior to this emergence of Wanyeri. I'm not going to lie. Finishing for finishing. £100, 10. We get, you know, if I was an Arsenal player and I was like, I don't know, if I was Lewis Kelly, I'd ask, let's say Tommy Setford, get and go after training. Trossard and Wanyeri, you got 10 finishes or whatever finishes, X amount on your left, X amount on your right, first time volley, all the penalties, all those things, 50 quid on it. Who's winning? I think Wanyeri might do it, you know. I think he might do it. Good finisher, man, especially when he finds the far post. And these are the little things. Going back to Saka, see, we ain't forgot you. People forget, like, the way Saka is finishing, yes. And what Saka is doing, he's got that that right-sided cross with his left foot to the far post on lock. He's got that. He's developing that lovely finish in the box. Like he makes a run, he lets the ball roll across him, and he smashes it either near or far post with his right peg. Obviously, he's brought out Panenkas to mix success. They're different finishes. Yeah, like that's just little things that's going to take you where you need to go. It's all fun and games. People on Twitter chatting shit saying, "Oh, he's not aesthetically pleasing. He doesn't move me," but skills pay the bills because that's made you a professional footballer. But he's not going to pay the bills in terms of GA getting you what Saka's probably going to get, which is big money. And rightly so. Nathan Phillips saying all that. Trust me. Have you seen him captain Ireland? No. I hear it. Listen, Irish, don't shoot me. I'm just saying for the squad. I'm not saying be all and then do. I'm just saying if you could grab him part of the squad on a little Kivio thing, I don't mind that. Because you need a couple of those steady eddies. We haven't got that. If we're honest, some players we held in high regards, they were calm, steady eddies. You know, I love Ray Parlour. Steady Eddie. Edu was a steady Eddie. Will Todd was a steady Eddie. Great one at that. I'm not dissing them, but they were calm. One of my best favorite ever Arsenal players. Like primary school, my mum wouldn't, for obvious reasons, I could not dye my hair red. Freddie Lomberg was one of my favorite players. He weren't the be all and then do, and that's not a diss. We're not gonna have, Arteta says 19, big up in the circle. He says 22. You're not gonna have 22 world beaters. We're not Real Madrid, or do they? Do they? 180 minutes, 90 minutes at the Bernabeu with the roof closed. I didn't see nothing. See Vinicius scored a dodgy one. Saliba, Saliba don't want to go Madrid yet. Mind games. DJ, I saw a stat. We scored 103 goals in all comps this season. Feels like a contradiction, which is life. And the thing is, we can score goals. This team has the capacity to score goals. The data suggests that the games with our eyes, we're scoring bare goals. But when you break it down, some have come in bunches. Players have gone on purple patches, set piece tax. Not to diss it. This is a reality. We need to take all of that, continue with all of that, make all of that better. But by the same notion, number 9, getting goals. Whatever rain, snow, getting goals, inevitable. And the left winger that maybe can bring the same. If Martinelli doesn't. I wonder where Osimhen will end up after this loan in Turkey. I don't know, I think for him, I think he's going to do the Saudi thing, man. It just makes too much sense. I don't know where in Saudi. Saudi clubs, if you're watching, the Premier League is one thing. But I've always loved the Saudi league. Shout me. Can make money, man. Big up yourself, Sadiq. Do City not have a buyback clause on the lap? You'd imagine they have a buyback clause and a sell-on clause. And to be fair, his agents patterned it right. Because if you're Ipswich, the best thing that would have been nice is if Liam Delap didn't have a release clause. Because look at it, doesn't matter. We live in a world, doesn't matter what players are, how good they're going to be. There's money. And if you got a decent player, you lot see it. As much as I don't mind Nathan Collins, they bought him for like 25 odd million quid. How much they going to ask for? They'll ask 50 is the new 20 in Prem, as we see now. Don't Barcelona still have to sake players? What do you mean? What happened to City with the FA? It's like it disappeared in thin air. I'm not sure what you mean there, my boy. If we get Hatto, our defense will be the best in Europe for the next couple of years, and our centre backs can get a rest. But big up Gent next door. Xavi Simons too lightweight. Harsh. We don't need Rodgers. We don't want him false news. Big up DG. Would you have any idea? Oh, I think I've answered that already. Big up yourself. We basically need Kane. He is Kai Havertz plus 30. Crazy slander. When you consider the number of players who could leave this summer, we could need between 5 or 6 signings, potential rebuild settings, but not really a rebuild for the defense, just midfield and up front. It's a weird one, man. It's a weird one because there's a lot of question marks over a number of our players. We could force it and say additional question marks with Saka, Saliba, Magalhaes, Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, them evident players we want to keep at the club, but just because they're in contract talks, and that does open up another realm of what could happen if you get to a point, you could force it. But disregarding that, Zinchenko's future is speculated. I would say Tommy Asu's. Now, he is injured and whatnot, but maybe the club are thinking about that. I love Tommy. Some of you were saying Trossard and Martinelli up until the last few weeks ago, so we're definitely including them. You lot slate me for my misses. You lot need to come under this bus as well. So there's that. Who else is there? Partey and Jorginho on paper are gone. There's a number of players, really and truly. So I have to see, man. There's a lot to do, but not a lot to do. But then a lot to do. What is the latest news about Trossard contract talks? Standstill. Did we not once upon a time reject a bid from Saudi? We heard he rejected one. I don't know where it is because, again, Berta's got a lot to do. And when it's all fun and games saying we need to buy this guy, do this and do that. But when you actually put it into practice, how far is he's going to have to talk with it, but how far is Trossard's new deal a priority of this football club? And what I mean by that is if there's a board and you was to put just on a piece of paper before you rank them, Partey's contract, Jorginho's contract, new deals for Saliba, Magalhaes, Bukayo Saka, potentially seeing what's going on with Martinelli even as well, Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, another asterisk. They're probably in, I don't know who these players are, but naturally every football club is in some talks with some player now about signing. So there's that. How far is the Trossard thing? I don't know. So maybe they get round to it. Maybe they think, you know what? We have faith that we can convince Trossard to sign a new deal, so we'll stay at the club. Maybe we weigh up the cost of, you know what? We bought him for 20 odd million quid. We know we're going to lose the transfer fee, but in terms of having a competitive squad, we know what Trossard can do for us. Just let him leave on the free, per se. I don't know. Everything's up for debate and it'd be interesting, but it seems like hardly anything. And if you're Trossard, what do you do? Because again, I hope we win the Champions League. But since he's been here, and again, it's nothing to brag about, you've respectfully to Brian, you've come to a team mashing up Real Madrid, getting better. People are giving us our plaudits, all hating us, heavily talked about, having some big European nights. Could you argue this is as good as it's going to get for you in Europe? Obviously, you never know. You're seeing Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay go to Italy. You can live movies depending on how you fix up yourself. But do you reckon this is as good as it gets? Are you happy in London? Got kids as well, kids and a wife. Are they happy? Can your family, from that aspect, it's all fun and games you saying Saudi and telling your missus, listen, the money, blah, blah, blah. But it's another thing taking your kids in a new world. They're not going to see I assume, their family too frequently. Wife has to leave her friends. You got to weigh up all of these things. So for now, where you look at the players' contracts who are up this summer and next summer, until we hear anything, we just have to assume to us fans that they're gone, in it. I can't lie, Rice is coming for the armband still. It's looking like such. It's looking like such. I hope at the end of the day, if Odegaard just does his job and that, because no one would care. Like if Odegaard was scoring these chances, and he's not, so that's the talking point. But if he was scoring these chances and doing all these things that we expect of the class region and Wonder God, no one would give a crap about the armband. Yeah, and people be like, well, he's not my captain. I would say the same thing. It's not Vieira, it's not Roy Keane, etc. But Rice, Gabriel Magalhaes, but no one would care. You lot lead on the pitch. Everyone just keep doing what they're doing. You're all right, though, man. Shoulda, woulda, couldas, man. Saka's going to be a menace next season. It's harsh, man. But yeah. True, the opposition focuses on dealing with our right wing, but imagine they had to deal with a left wing and a striker as well. Now you're talking the Arsenal perspective, my friend. I still think we as a fan base really underappreciate Havertz, but he really does need rotation with how he plays for us. I think so. I think, you know what? If I'm honest, like, we shouldn't have bought Havertz. Like, we should have spent the peas and fixed something. But that's not, I've said it before, that's not Havertz's fault. End of the day, we bought him. He's made himself useful to some degree, and he's pulled his weight a lot more and he's been a lot more consistent and a source of goals. He's actually done his thing. But it is what it is. I think many people, like true Arsenal fans, I hate to use that word, but even his harshest critic, you would accept, all right, he's done a bit better than we expected. He's done a lot better than we expected. He's still not the guy. You have put him on big wages. Yeah, but he's just never going to be flavor of the month. You are a squad done, and we, to a degree, Arteta has failed up. I think we should have done something else, but we're at, man. Big up, Kai. Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo came from Portugal and was an instant hit. A good player is a good player. That's true, but them man are Portuguese, though. Can we marry the men's and women's Champions Leagues this season? Imagine. And that's another movie. The women slapped them 3-0. We said, yeah, we have to do the same thing. My guy Deluded, big up yourself. If we win Champions League, man, we'll be in Brixton going loops. Absolutely bonkers. Well, boss, big up yourself. We'll be going crazy everywhere, and we deserve it. Because say what you want, we're the culture club. That's why we are talked about all the time. It's not main character syndrome. I've seen Man United win trophies. I've seen them doing what they're doing in 14th and whatnot. And all they do is talk about Arsenal. These man win everybody wins games, and all they do is talk about Arsenal. We've got other clubs piping up now. Certain clubs are upset we bought Declan Rice. I'm sorry, we can't buy a player that didn't want to leave, man. It's not your girl, it's just your turn, player. We took one of the best center number 6s and made him an 8 because we could do things like that. We want Collins. I think we covered that. Wanyeri has a golden foot. He hits the ball so cleanly and accurately every time. Just needs to keep doing it, man. I thought the game against Everton was his most important game. He needs those difficult games to learn. Exactly. There's no point waffling for Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, all these guys about how good they are. We need, not that I want players to struggle. Of course, I want to win every game, but it's only in those moments do you see how good you are. Now, the 2 fixtures against Real Madrid went more poetic and better than we could have imagined, right, people? But I bet you there's little things. Lewis Skelly went back to the drawing board and thought, okay, I need to get better at this, that, and the other. A lot of confidence. Because for someone that's not a left back necessarily prior to this year, done what you've done and showed your own personality, know that you can hang at this level, but just keep working in it. But yeah, we need that. We need that. Barcelona are not selling Raphinha. Yeah, but Freddie Ljungberg had magic moments for us against United and Chelsea in the league and the cup, respectively. Big up Freddie Ljungberg, can never downplay his thing. My thing is just you need a squad. Not everyone has to be the star boy and the poster man and the difference makers in different ways. Everyone needs to chill about the champs. We are one of four that can win, 25% chance, meaning we are 75% likely not to win it. Be prepared to lose, but celebrate if we win. Realistic point of view. Just put our best foot forward, man. It's cool. How did you do this waffling every day? Amani, fans like yourself and in the chat, man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And on that, a shot, a toast to people like yourself. Gotta kill them with kindness. Eye test argument is dead. Saka does the business. That's more important. Get wingers like Doku who pass the eye test, but I have no end product. We scored 5 over 2 legs versus Madrid, 9 versus PSG, 5 versus Sporting. Champs Goldfest versus Highlines have carried us. Can we play Champions League every week? Maybe we need to get in that Super League. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. Lidge. Club is probably waiting until the season is over. Imagine if we win champs, makes negotiations much easier. It does from a collective point of view, but if you're Saka, what if you score the winner? If you're Saliba, what if it's 1-1? What if it's 1-0 to Arsenal in the Champions League finals, the last minute of the game? Raya's having a great game. Unfortunately, he's switched off. There's an effort on the line. Saliba clears it. We create history. What if you're Saliba going into the agent room with that? On top of everything, all the backstory you got anyways. Of course, I'm not like from a sporting project. They don't need convincing. Obviously, it's another thing if there's other teams that are stronger than us can win stuff and they're asking for you to sign for them. That's a completely different conversation. But you can see we're developing something. And you have to, I blame the players the least as to how we've ended up where we've ended up. But they played some part in it. Like, it's not like Arteta sold these not a dream. 2022, 23, we fought for the league. Then we're back to back 8th in the years that followed. We've not got over the line. Those are the question marks that need to be answered. That is where the pressure comes in. But there's maybe not so much necessarily improvements this year, but there's still certain intangibles. Like, there's still mad positive statistics. And yes, I do agree with Arteta that many teams would have crumbled with the injuries and all that. But then for me, I hear all of that, but I want to get over the line now. Yeah, because is it heroic? Yes, it is. Could we say it's incompetence collectively as a club? Because we knew this. Our manager, and I'm not even just blaming him, everyone. Our manager said we've got one of the smallest squads. We need to maximize markets. Now, I'm not on the floor at the club. I'm sure they tried. But in January and the summer, can you say you maximize those markets? We're building something. And this is why I say, for me, I think our worst enemies are ourselves in a good way, in a positive way. No one can tell me we ain't got something, but we need to seize the moment. And we keep making the same mistakes. But yeah, man, and we're definitely not perfect, but there's more positives than negatives. But it's the same old things that are stopping us getting over the line. I can't believe we haven't got 100 likes, people. You lot are buying it. The reason we expect more from Odegaard is because of the 2022-23 season when he scored 15 Premier League goals. Is it realistic to hold him to that standard? How often do attacking midfielders score 15 plus? I hear you, but he does get it. He's done it before, so he could do it again. And also, I can't lie, he's getting into areas and he's bloody good technically. What's going on? I do think he's carrying a bit of a knock. I do think there's a bit of that ankle tax. I genuinely do. But that also goes out the window from your fit and you're playing week in, week out. And that's one thing, and it's very different. Bro, Saka's not fully fit. And Timber's been playing barefoot. How many games has Timber probably played on adrenaline or with the mad rehab and all of that? And Declan Rice broken toe. You don't know I love Martin Odegaard. I don't really look at him as a goal merchant, a GA merchant. But at the end of the day, to a degree, Mikel Arteta does. We do need goals from our midfield, and you've done it before. You're getting into those areas. You do have the quality. Yeah, ankle. Saka's not been here. Ben White's not been here. Bad form. It could just be that. All of that kind of stuff. But you're good enough. For me, you're not doing that. And the Ipswich game, yes, it's Ipswich. They're fighting relegation, all of that kind of stuff. You could say, yeah, and it is right. That is facts. But that was Odegaard, 10 men as well. But that is what I want to see from Odegaard. I want you to influence it. I want you to be the creative spark. Now, I do think people are not giving him his credit. He can do more. But I saw him in the second goal at Bernabeu. I saw him in his involvement for at least one of the goals yesterday. Needs to do a lot better. Wanting to get his act together because, again, where the Champions League is concerned, and I think where we're at the moment, I keep saying it, where you look at Real Madrid this season as a fluke case study and what they are, football is a psychological game, you know. It probably was very dark for us to a degree until we sat there and said, you know what, the league is a myth. We're playing Real Madrid. We don't want to get embarrassed. We fought for nights like this. Is what it is. Right now, it's Coach Carter settings from us. And it needs to get to the other level. But yeah, I think Odegaard's stepping up, but need a lot more from him. Need a lot more. Barca would be stupid to let Firmino go. Besides, Arsenal don't need him. Yeah, I don't think Raphinha's for sale. I think everyone's got a price, but I think it'd be idiotic. I can't lie. If Arteta takes the armband from Odegaard, it will kill his confidence even more. I hear you, but he's gonna have to just get on with it, really. And I don't think he's going to. Exactly, DG. We can only play what's in front of us. Tab police, allow me, man. Allow me. We just covered bare things and went over bare content. Yesterday's performance was expected. Ipswich are awful. That tackle on Saka was awful, but big up the Ipswich fans. Them man booing Saka made themselves look like idiots. It would be stupid to wait until the Champions League is finished to make our negotiations with new recruits. That gives time for rivals to snatch players we want. Instead of booing Saka, focus on how you're the third worst team in the league and boo your own players for playing ish. Stylistically speaking, I prefer playing Barca over Inter if we get to the final, trust. But we need to get to that final. We need to beat PSG. Love the positive talk. The noise coming from the club sounds like we'll address the things to get over the line. That's the best we can get for now. I hear that. And I'm with that. But every year we don't get over the line, bro. Because you don't make me believe. At the end of the day, you made me believe that there's something here. Like, our questions are only getting over the line. You can't tell me we're a bad football club. You can have question marks about if Arteta is the guy, and I'm not saying he is or isn't, but clearly he's a good coach of some degree. Second year back in the champs, Arsenal with this new look team. Yeah, we ain't won it, but we ain't embarrassed ourselves, and we've defied the odds where Real Madrid are concerned. For me, I'm like, I hear that. Cool, you made me believe. Over the line. Hope you can do it in the champs. I actually think if I was one of the Arsenal players, I'd feel like it's unacceptable we haven't won the Premier League in the last 3 years, to be honest, because I'd really think we're them guys. Because belief is everything, man. But yeah, man, just need to do whatever. Most of you lot talking about Inter, I'm sure you haven't watched them in Serie A, but you're talking crazy. Arsenal only conceded 1 goal over both legs. Basically, we all deserve to be here. Movie sayings, 5 goals, 1 goal conceded, and Saliba made the F up. It would be him, innit? Big up PTM. Talk is cheap. I want action. Odegaard is a pressing monster. When we lose possession, he's always pressing. And I rate him for that. And that's, let's be real. Big up Odegaard. And again, I'd like to think I've shown my position as I'm part of the Odegaard fan club. But talking among us in the Odegaard fan club, if it wasn't Odegaard with the glee and the technical quality and what he is as a Bobby Dazzler kind of footballer, we'd be saying that's dead. Like, we'd be saying that's dead. Like, we'd actually be saying that's dead. Like, you're just running around. Arguably, everyone could do that. He's good enough to get his act together, man. Marcus Thuram will be back soon, and Dumfries might be back second leg. Inter a horrible team to play against. I watched them yesterday versus Bologna. Thuram is suffering with injuries, also Dumfries. I mean, I have confidence that we'll compete, but yeah, out of all the teams, I don't really want to play. Nobody should want to play anyone, if I'm honest. But that's the stage you're at. Everybody is here for a reason. Nobody fluked their way to this part of the Champions League. I just wouldn't want to play Inter. I just think they got a mix of everything. But it was a stalemate, boring game when we played different context. But when we lost to them in the league, Buki penalty, but we didn't take our half chances or create that much across the 2 legs against Real Madrid. I actually think that's the first time in those kind of contexts. Yes, we're back in the champs. That we've done what we normally do in the big games. We compete statistically, we're in there, but we actually made our own luck for one. Any half chances provided, we made something happen from it, quote unquote. And that's what we need to kind of do. Because sometimes, some football games you just need to get over the line. Sometimes things go wrong. So I have to see, man. Dumfries is not a loss for them. Trust me, they got better than Dumfries. Both Inter and Barca look exhausted. Barcelona got a hefty schedule, you know. Barcelona's a nasty team to play against as well. It'd be nice to beat them in the final. Out of all of them. It'd be nice. Maybe Inter as well. Because I'm shook. Zubimendi, hurry up and do one to Madrid, man. Fed up of hearing your name. For me, Lopez not good enough for us. He's similar to Smith Rowe in playing style and position. For me, will be one of the players Barca will sell to cash in on. Harsh. Damn. Not really not feeling this thing at all. It's harsh, man. Xavi Simmons too lightweight. Harsh, man. Other little men have done it in the Prem. I do think people gas him. I think he's good. But I think he needs to be a bit more consistent. I love him. DeMarco or something, I swear, plays for Inter. Yeah, DeMarco, nasty fullback. They play more open in Serie A, asks Judge Mo. Be interesting. Joke is Inter and Barca probably want to play PSG and not Arsenal. That's what I mean. Everybody fears everyone, man. We just need to respect everyone and just see what we could do, man. 3 games. It's 3 games, man. Arteta and Arsenal, please. 3 games. Just 3 games. That's what you got to do. Just win 3 games. You don't even have to win 3 games. There's one you need to win. You definitely need to win one. We don't need to win all 3 games. But please. Yeah, definitely. Therefore, everyone's got a healthy respect for each other now. And again, you have to. When I think of Inter, obviously, I think of the heritage. Like I'm 30. I remember when they were like the bee's knees. And you see what they're doing. Barcelona are getting back to it. Hansi Flick, very good coach. I do think it'd be interesting to see us against their high line. I do think PSG Arsenal, if I wasn't an Arsenal fan and I was watching Arsenal PSG, now that I said this, it will probably get their likes up. Tell them again, social joins. Now that I said this, it will probably be, like typically, bar the 5-1, like typically Mikel Arteta versus Pep Guardiola, Arsenal City. It's not really like it's a big game, and the trailers look good in the week, but it's not really across 90 minutes. It's not really a good game to watch if you was a neutral. It's not. It's both managers overthinking crazy stuff, fine margins. It's one of them games. Now that I am about to say this, I actually think PSG Arsenal, at least one of those legs, will be one of those like Luis Enrique versus Arteta, Pep Guardiola versus Arteta kind of thing. But if it went the way, if I wasn't an Arsenal fan, I'd like it to be. I think both teams should set up how they've been setting up, and just it is what it is. There'll be some interesting transitions. It's going to scare the life out of me when PSG are counter-attacking. Us the same. Both teams play high lines. Both teams have that. They're on taking risks, playing out from the back. PSG more than us, because I actually, maybe it's an English thing versus, playing in other waters in Europe. But you're taught in England, don't play the ball across the goal line. Like, them PSG players do it frequently. I think it will be open. I think the midfield will be open, but then it won't. I think the wide areas, because the wingers against the fullbacks battle, the fullbacks against the wingers. As much as I think the wingers of both teams and attacking players be great, the attackers have to go the other way. They have to do that. As good as Saka was in an attacking sense in the 2 legs against Madrid, fucking shift, mate. Declan Rice, fucking shift, fella. Martinelli, fucking shift, fella. Apologies for my language. It's a good little matchup. Good little teams there. Good teams there. And to be fair, if there was one team that gets some spooky decisions that wasn't Real Madrid at times, might be Hansi Flick's men. As an Arsenal fan, boy, the weakest team with the most goals across Europe is dumb and wild. Barcelona's weakness is the high line, but they aren't trying to stop. And do you know what? I like it, because again, they're not stupid. They know if we're doing this high line thing, I kind of got to get an advantage defensively in some other aspects. But fundamentally, we're confident in our game plan, what we're doing. Just because we're flying forward, don't mean we're not thinking defensively. Because again, I would love to see big up Xavi, because Xavi did lay the founding blocks. But I'm sure, if you were to look at, I don't know, but like Xavi's last season at at Barcelona, and probably the second season or whenever, or a certain period of time equal to that from Hansi Flick, their players run more, which is almost it's not on Barca like, because they're professional footballers. Anyone that's been to the Camp Nou, they're not even there anymore, are they? Massive stadium. You have to, as much as I've been there now, that golden generation for Barcelona, genuinely they used to walk, look so unbothered, but they're running a lot, but they're very intense. And that's got to be a thing that, like, maybe that's even something I would say European teams have to learn about the English teams, because it's been intensity. Like PSG got through it against Villa and against Aston Villa and Liverpool, more so Aston Villa. But there's times you had to live dangerously. Again, it was a different game with a different context. And we were great in the first game in the league in the Champions League against PSG. But we came out the blocks firing. Obviously, our game plan, all the stuff with Arsenal, and Real Madrid got their own issues. Personally, I think they're all insecure because all them tags hold weight. Real Madrid winners, aura, they never lie down. All of that kind of stuff. It makes sense, but you're shouting it every minute of every day. People's dads are putting on Instagram that they're sleeping they're still awake praying at 3 a.m. Like, little old Arsenal's making you behave like this is crazy. And that stems from insecurity. And that's where their season's been. But yeah, man, it's interesting, man, at least. Everyone in the champs is there on merit. All I ask for is no regrets. Just don't let yourselves down. Like, if you put in a certain performance against, like you did in the 2 legs against Real Madrid, and we go out, I don't want that to be the case, but that's a fair enough thing. Of course, we can look back and see where we could have done better, but that's fair enough. I think you left it out there. Don't crumble. You've given me confidence that you're not going to do that. So yeah, man, interesting matchups, man. Interesting matchups. This game is going to be so excited. Attacking defense, we're going to see who really wants it more. It's all about which manager has got what it takes. But if it comes down to fine margins and that, obviously Marino's been doing his thing. But if it came down to fine margins, which typically fall on a football pitch, the players, like the elite players, the attacking players, being devil's advocate, PSG got more than us. They got Ousmane Dembele. I hope he stinks up the place like a few years ago against Liverpool, but they got him. They got some Carrot Skeeler looks good. Obviously, we got Saka in that, Marino, and unlikely heroes that are doing it at the moment. Odegaard adapt to the modern day, and I have so much respect for that. But this pressing thing and working hard off the ball is not him. Especially he's a player for the culture. It is what it is. It's jarring, man. Soon back though, man. You can't keep a good man down. Come on, people. 25 more likes to 100. Appreciate that. Crow's missing for them is the biggest miss. Arteta and Lod's collecting defenders. We need some. Remontada, they told us. I don't. That must be something else. Remontada or Real Madrid, 90 minutes at the Bernabeu. We're closing the roof. People, legends of the club, are injured and they're trying to rattle Saka and his chippies. Boy, as a Barca who watched Real all season, I knew the Gunners could cook them. I watched them the week before, conceded 4 versus Sociedad. And that's what I mean by their seasons come to a head. Because if you put yourself in Real Madrid shoes, there's clearly been questions about tactics all season, and these players. Once you get, listen, great players have in life and definitely at Real Madrid, you can't rely on past glories. In any other walk of life, yeah, a manager that gets a man to a quarterfinals and loses, fair enough. But bearing in mind, he won you the champs last year, got to the quarterfinals against this new look Arsenal side, got you in a Copa del Rey final next week. Might not win the La Liga, but in with a shout. Won the Champions League once again last season, and man, want you out. That's the levels. But I think Real Madrid's thing is more, they're fighting some internal battles this whole season with question marks across all fragments of that football club all season. And it just came to a head against Arsenal because it was a humbling for them. That will stand out. It won't shock me if Real Madrid go win the champs next year and go do a madness and they really fix up because they did great stuff, you know, aligning players, they won. Naturally, sometimes when you win all the time, you have to lose to win again, you know, in this life. So yeah, big them up. Why is it that Odegaard don't want to shoot? Watch back the last games. I see Odegaard is usually in really good shooting positions, but rather passes. We need a cam who's able to shoot every time. Maybe lacking in confidence. I do think it's the injury and lacking in confidence. Because even when he had that season of mad output, we were still saying Odegaard passes too much, he overplays it. We're still saying that, but maybe he was confident to go for goal a lot. And when you're, as you know, with these footballers, as much as you know, they score good goals and whatnot. When you're confident, you find yourself scoring some silly goals. Waneri's confidence is is somewhat high. Forcing the example is somewhat high. Now on another day, it goes down as an own goal, but you're in a good patch, a good little moment. You come off the bench against Ipswich. It's hit someone. It's probably hit 2 players and gone in. You get that luck. You ain't joined my stream in years. Damn. Why are you back? Are we getting lit now? I give credit to Arsenal. I'm not downplaying anything. I hear it. It's nice to see a left-footed winger on the left wing like Raphinha. Maybe Waneri can make the left wing his after all. Ancelotti's finished, bro. He's doing vibes and things. It's not working. It's over, man. He needs to come manage Brazil. Lewis Skelly, Waneri, Saka contract discussions are apparently progressing well, but there's no update on Big Gabby and Saliba. Fingers and everything crossed, man. Soon, man. You have to remember, Berta's got a lot to do, man. There's only so much one man can do at once, man. Got to take time. 8 more likes and we have 100, folks. Last time I joined your stream, we was linked with Pablo Marie and them, man. Yeah, don't come back around. We don't want you back here. We've been on TalkSport and been nominated for SJA awards and all them things since you've gone. Nice, all love. Big up the DG Nation that held firm, that's here from the jump. And if you're new here and you're part of it, don't come back around because we got work here to do. You didn't want to know me when Saka was a left back them times. You're actually boying it. Don't come back around. No, I'm joking. Marino is Arsenal's best signing this season. But yeah, the bars on the floor too. There ain't anyone. Yeah, easily. Yeah, because come on, man. This last patch has swayed it. Like, I would have, if Marino never had this run, I would have said Calafiori. But yeah, Marino, in terms of how it's worked out and these things, Marino's up there, Calafiori's there, Sterling's up there, and big up Neto, innit? I think Odegaard is playing through illness/injury and needs to be carried a bit by the rest of his team. I hear it. Odegaard hitting the post must have been a confidence boosting moment. It was jarring, bro. Because some of you were part of the watch along. I thought he scored. And you know, and that's what I mean about luck. Because I bet you, yeah, if Odegaard was in like the flip side of this, if he was in great form and whatnot, that same shot kisses the post and just goes in. Well, that's where it's that football's weird, man. Who's been the best signing in the league this season? Oh, you put me on the spot. I have to think. Oh, Mikel Merino. Best signing in the league? That's a bloody good question. Realistically, I don't think we could be in that conversation. I don't want to hear nothing about the million players Chelsea signed, dead. Liverpool, Chiesa can't be. I didn't even sign no one. Good players. Being PFA shouts, but all that. City, hang about. I might be missing something. No, I'm going to pass on City. Newcastle. Might be wrong, but no, I don't think there's a new signing there that I'm gassing up. Villa. Oh, Villa. There might be. Come back to Villa. Who was signed in Jan as well? That's where the shake. I'm thinking of the summer. I feel like I'm missing something. Someone. Mamouche. But is he signed? Park him to the side. He's the first one on name. But is he signing this season? That's a good question, man. Flipping hell, mate. Lewis Kelly. They didn't say it was a signing. It came from our academy to our first team. They didn't say you have to buy the player. Shameless. Who wins young player? But it's not going to be. But it has to be Lewis Kelly. It has to be Lewis Kelly. It has to be Lewis Kelly. Wanyeri, hail up his thing, second place. Maybe even first if Wanyeri's not. I don't think he's going to. Lewis Kelly, 1,000,000%. Lewis Kelly has to win that. Or they still want to give it to people like Phil Foden when they're like 24. Or they want to actually give it to a kid. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Morello is the best signing for Forest. Murillo. They never just signed him, though. I'm a day one DG supporter. CS, my guy, man. Who'd be your midfield three against... Appreciate the support. Who'd be your midfield three against PSG? Would you drop Odegaard and play Wanyeri, who is more attacking, good vision, but he's not afraid to shoot when necessary? Big up the Antigans. Nah. I'm probably going to... Again, it all depends. If Jorginho starts... If Jorginho's fit, I think Jorginho starts. I think kind of what we saw against... Well, what we saw against Ipswich. Declan Rice, Marino, Martin. I'd go with that, to be fair. I'll go with that. If only we had a bigger squad, man. Who do you think we are going to make more money for the summer spree? Who do you think we're going to sell to make money for the summer spree? I think Kivio will leave. His stocks might be a bit high. I think it's in the balance with Trossard, you know. So I'm going to say him. I think it's in the balance. I'd want him to stay. I don't think he leaves, but I think it's 50-50. I think that could be one. Obviously, there's a Congas, the Tavares, them kind of players there. Probably not going to stay. Fabio Vieira, I think his future's in the balance. Marino in the Rice role, and Rice takes the party role. Fair play. Yeah, same. 3 versus Ipswich. Trossard, 1 foot out the door. That's what I mean. It's 50-50. I mean, the contract. And where I look at Kivio and Trossard, it's all fun and games saying Zinny, another one. It's all fun and games saying all these players can leave. But it seems like there's actually some interest in Kivio, and there's actually some interest in Trossard. Like if Saudi come back again, if one of them Italian clubs really want to come with an offer for Kivio, decisions to make. To be fair, Zinni was spoken about in January, was it not, about Atletico Madrid and Dortmund? But yeah, Forest probably got something, to be fair. I'm more worried about Jorginho's lack of mobility. PSG has some runners in midfield. It's true, but Declan Rice and Marino probably going to have to work a bit harder. Mikel Arteta is going to have to factor around that. And we just have to hope for the best, man. But that is a natural concern and a worry in general, people. In terms of other content, people, don't forget, people, Wednesday, we will be doing a watch-along for Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. We kick off at 8 p.m, so I'm going to be live at... bless me, I'm not going to be live if I keep sneezing. But yeah, and later today at 4 p.m, I'm going to have the lads. I'm going to ask, Saka for Ballon d'Or, should Arteta rotate more? Is Odegaard back? And everything else in between those Arsenal talking points, man. So yeah, make sure you see me again at 4 p.m. As usual, appreciate you lot tuned in. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. One love, man.